Testing. Testing. Hello, how is everybody? I know, I look a little strange, don't I? Hi, Dee, I love you. How are you? I'm doing great. I'm going to be out working the bees so you can see that, okay? I know it seems a little crazy. Come on, Donna, you're good, babe. Okay. David, what's up, my man? Let me get this. Nope. Now we're good. We're here with David Noble from Redbeard Bees. He's a local apiarist, and he is amazing. I've been working with him for probably, I don't know, how many years now? 3 years, yeah, 3 or more. I took classes out at the, what's it called? Stratford, yeah, Ecological Center up in Delaware for a summer. It was absolutely one of the funnest times. Honeybees are fascinating, just in the way that they control the queen bee, the way they develop and nurture each other. You know, the hive itself is just incredible, the complexity of it, but yet how orderly it is.
It's sort of order out of chaos.
Order out of chaos. So what's our plan today?
So this is the newest hive here. And I think we're gonna just making sure all my safety equipment is working. Need to stoke it a little bit. So we're gonna check on her because I put her into the permanent hive boxes. We're gonna make sure she's settled down, settled into place. When I say she, what I mean is the whole colony. Make sure. So the colony is the animal, and it is headed up by the queen genetically, but I kind of refer to them as she for the whole colony, largely because they're made up of mostly female worker bees.
Gotcha.
And so I want to make sure, my task today is to make sure that she's settling in and to see if she needs more room or not. I really wanted to show you some stuff about the smoker, but I think I'm gonna have to
light it. That's all right. We're a little early anyways. It's 5 minutes till actual class starts, so they're still bringing residents in, and and I pushed this out to Facebook, and so hopefully we'll have people all over the place joining us, members. And family and friends, and even strangers that may not know anything about Kemper House, but know are interested in learning about beekeeping. And so that's my hope, is that we can constantly do social outreach things that are putting goodwill out into the community and helping to educate people, especially about honeybees and the importance of honeybees. There's a lot of fruits in the world and vegetables that we would not have if it wasn't for the honeybee.
Yeah, well, definitely not have as many of them.
Have as many, there we go. Yeah, and their ability to cross-pollinate and do all the different things that healthy fruits and vegetables need.
Well, and they're an important part of our ecology.
What do you?
Oh, they're fighting off a bee from a different colony.
Oh, look at that. We have a battle, muddy battle. So every there's just a ton of animals, insects in the world that want honey. It's just
including other beehives.
Other beehives, and it's coveted. And so they have guard bees that basically sit at the mouth of these entries and protect what comes in and out of this hive to make sure. And how do they know that it's the enemy?
So there's complicated ways to answer that, but the easiest thing is to say every hive, just like every house in America, has its own unique smell based on, you know, what laundry detergents you use to what kinds of foods you cook. Everything creates a smell that's just slightly different from home to home. It's the same with honeybees. It's slightly like I got the wrong mask on today. Each smell is slightly different. So the guard bees, one of the things they do is they smell all the bees coming in the hive, and if they smell like they belong there, they go right on in.
Oh, wow. So does each one of these 6 hives have a separate smell, and do any of these bees go into any of these other nearby hives?
The answer to both is yes. So each hive will have its individual smell that we can't detect. Our noses aren't just going right into my memory.
Social distancing, being socially responsible, wearing face masks. Look at us. We're doing the right things here, people.
I have another face mask.
Because your beard.
So each one smells a little bit different, but they will. It's something we beekeepers call drift. So a honeybee coming back here sometimes might be like, oh, I forget which. Am I on the left or right?
Interesting.
And so they might go to the wrong hive by mistake. And if they're showing up with a load of nectar or a load of pollen, they're probably less likely to be turned away because they're not there to steal.
Yeah.
But if they show up with nothing,
so if they're showing up empty-handed, buddy,
and they smell different, it's like
we're gonna fight.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But beehives are also some of the best foster families in the world.
Oh, really?
So if I had a hive that was struggling, I could move bees and brood and food from one hive to the other. They would accept it, and they would raise those bees as if they were their own.
Really?
There would be no, you're a stepchild or something like that. It's no. Once you're in the hive, you're in the hive.
So is there an acclimation period when you actually were to say this is an unhealthy hive, this is a healthy hive, you're taking brood and bees into this? Is there a separation that you do while they acclimate to smell? Or
just like bees are not all that different from people. We don't like change, especially when it's sudden. So yeah, there is a process by which we can introduce them slowly. But then once they've been introduced, they just behave as if they were the same thing. And if you think of bees in the larger sense, they're an important part of our ecology around the world. And ecology is really just another word for community.
Sure.
And so they're an important part of our community. And there are benefits and responsibilities that go both ways. Obviously, we benefit a lot from bees.
Sure.
And therefore, we have responsibilities to take care of and manage.
And they get no benefit from us, I assume.
Well, we should set up a debate panel. So it's
next session.
Yeah. So they're domesticated animals. So they're really dependent on us at this point. So they're really, when it comes to the Western honeybee, there's really no such thing as wild honeybees.
What?
For this species. I may have to go get my other map.
That's fine if you need to do that. I can walk around, and if you want to go do that, go do that.
Let's go do that, because
that's
otherwise
fine.
I'm going to be fighting. And that's not good for me to be touching
don't
and
fight.
and stuff.
So go ahead and change your mask. I'll just sort of walk around and show them a little bit about what's going on here. I got this. We're fine.
Some of these, I mean, you'll see the guard bees here. They're going to check each other out. They're going to feed each other. There's a lot of interaction going on there at the front. Let me go get that.
Sure. Yeah, so me personally, this is like an interesting story. I had an interest because my grandmother-in-law, my wife's grandmother, was living with us with Alzheimer's. And I wanted to sort of figure out some things that we could do to keep her active and engaged and entertained. And so my mother-in-law mentions to me, who also lived with us, she was basically her main caregiver, but it was an entire family effort on taking. We called ourselves the Hive. Grandma was the queen bee, and we were the worker bees, and everything we did was to keep Grandma happy. And so Libby, my mother-in-law, mentions to me that you should do bees. And I was like, you know what, that's interesting. And then I was watching Shark Tank, and they had this beehive that was a non-invasive way to extract honey. And so I was like, you know what, this sounds awesome. So I ordered this beehive immediately upon Shark Tank episode ending. And then that showed up. It came out of Australia. And it was actually the first round of this type of hive itself. And so anyways, we ended up, I ordered bees out of Georgia, and then I got a note, it was in the spring, that the bees were ready to be shipped. And all of a sudden I realized I have no idea how to transfer bees from a shipping container to my hive. And so I started freaking out, and I started looking online, finding out if there was a local society of beekeepers that I could reach out to. And lo and behold, as I did some research, I found Dave, and he lived literally blocks away from my house. And he's like the best in the Midwest. And so I feel like God put Dave in my life to beekeep, and we've just been buddies ever since. And I call him my bee buddy. And so that's how it all started. And we put a beehive outside of the picture window at our home, and I would work the beehive, and Grandma would sit out in front of the picture window and just watch me. And she would knock on the window. I would hold up the frames, and she'd watch me smoke. And we have incredible video of bees just, swarming around me and in my outfit. And it was just such a cool moment. And I fell in love with honeybees and just what they are and what they do for us. And I just think it's incredibly giving species. And so one of my dreams was to have colonies at Kemper House, Worthington, which is an Alzheimer and dementia care community. And here we are, and we have it. And Dave's been generous. Going to do education classes on beekeeping. And then eventually we'll harvest honey, and it'll be Kemper honey, but it's only to use at Kemper House, not for sale. Well, Dave might sell some of it in other ways, but the stuff we keep is for us. So.
And bees, bees are great. There's a lot of education to do. There's a lot we know. There's a lot that's fascinating about bees. But more importantly,
yeah,
the educational aspect is great, but it's just fun and fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
It's the kind of education where you're just learning. One of the things I want to do today is, as we're talking about our responsibilities for bees, do bees benefit?
But I don't think anything.
Hold on one second, Dave. Hey, if you're on, can you please put your mute on? Because if the background noise, if you're speaking, it will dominate the conversation, and we want to keep it on, Dave, or this videotaping from this side. So thank you.
But anyway, it's just so fascinating and entertaining, which of course is great for education. So I want to
wait a second. I do have to ask this.
Yeah.
Most people are petrified of bees.
Uh-huh.
And you've always heard about the killer bees and all this kind of stuff. So when I talk with people about having bees at Kemper House, they were always super worried, like, oh my gosh, what is that going to do? Is it going to put people in danger? So tell us about like the aggressive or non-aggressive nature of honeybees.
Yeah, so that's a great question. And, 100% when you started talking about bringing bees to Kemper House, people should be asking those questions, right? Just because there is you know, you see, I'm not wearing any protective gear here.
No, right.
The bees are not in any way, we're not having any kind of conflict. But bees are animals that can be dangerous. So that's absolutely, you have to take that into consideration. I do bee breeding, and for me, gentleness is sort of my top priority, because if my bees aren't gentle like this, it's really hard for me to work and do the things I'm responsible for. And luckily, genetically, those are dominant traits to make gentle. Now, an interesting thing about bee breeding, I don't know, let me see. If you can, I don't know how focused you can get on here, but like over here, there's a bee that's like got all black stripes on her abdomen. But here's one that's mostly orange.
Yeah.
Here's one that's a little bit different kind of orange.
So is that a different species, or?
These are all sisters.
Okay.
They all have the same mother. But they could have very different fathers. So a single queen bee can mate with anywhere from 10 to 30 males.
Wow.
So that means there can be 30 different, what they call tribes.
30 different tribes. That's not species, but tribes.
Yeah. And it just means they have different dads.
Yeah.
So they're stepsisters. So some are stepsisters, some are super sisters, that kind of stuff.
And what's the benefit of having so many different fathers in a hive?
Genetic diversity. And so what that means is, let's just say, I'm going to make up these are tests that bees do, but let's just say these orange bees are really good at collecting pollen.
Sure.
And these bees over here that don't have any orange, they're really great at feeding larvae and taking care of being nurse bees. So that's their forte. They may be good at other stuff, but that's what they're best at. So you get a colony that has a wide range of expertise instead of a colony of bees that are pretty good at most things.
Well, it's similar to sort of like the concept of inbreeding, you know?
Yeah.
That's dangerous genetically. Yeah.
Exactly. In fact, I'm glad you mentioned that. Studies have been done at Ohio State University.
Excuse me, who's ever got their mic on, can you turn that off? Sounds like you're getting ready to do a blower or something. Thank you.
Have more sunlight. I don't know if it's easier to see sunlight. But again, you can really see those different colors. It's important that you mentioned about inbreeding, because studies done at OSU have shown, and other places, that queen bees that mate with less than 10 drones actually suffer something similar to inbreeding, and the hives kind of collapse. They can't function because they don't have enough genetic diversity.
Wow.
So I'm showing this. This is a frame here. I want to talk about a couple of things, like how we do beekeeping. So we're going to talk about some of the mechanics of a basic frame, and what is this all about? We're going to discuss the smoker. Okay. So first, let's look at this. And Greg, I don't know if you can see up in the corner here.
Yeah.
That black part.
Yep.
So that is plastic.
Okay. So it has a plastic backing.
It has a plastic backing that I can take out. If I turn it around, you can see even better.
Yeah.
There. In the sunlight. All
Yep.
of that's plastic.
And it already has the shape of the comb in it,
right?
Yeah,
you can see they've started to build on here. Okay. The bees don't need this at all. When they make comb, you can see how they're coming up there because the light's been on them so long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover them up a little bit.
Now, why are they coming up?
They're not used to. So when we look at the hives, they're not
dark.
used to light.
Yeah.
So this is, I hate to say it's stressing them,
but
it's their reaction to being in the light all of a sudden. Cover them to let them just comb, settle back down. Just cover them for a minute because we don't want them to get so warmed up they start flying in our face.
Sure. That's how you keep them in
bit,
that friendly zone.
It's bee etiquette.
Bee etiquette. There we go.
It's like when you go to a friend's house and you wipe your shoes on the mat before you go.
Right. Especially if they have white carpet.
Exactly. So the bees don't need this. They don't need that pattern. They don't need any of that. If they were to live on their own in the wild, they would just draw comb however they feel they want. And you can see they've started putting comb up at the top here.
Got it.
Okay. But this is to easily pull these out.
So it keeps it a little more organized on the way they are building the comb.
And when I put these in, this is my request to the bees. I'd like you to do your comb in these nice,
Your request.
nice straight line.
That's awesome.
I would say 85 to 90% of the time, they honor my requests. But sometimes they'll build comb out to the side. We may see some of that today.
Can I show something? I see them fanning. What is that?
Okay, so if you look at their hind end, there's a gland sticking out probably. When they stick their hind ends up, there's a little gland sticking out.
Yeah, they sort of get in a position where they put their abdomen up in the air and then they fan over that. What is that doing?
So there's a little gland on the very back of their abdomen called the Nasonov gland, just named after the guy who found it. And it secretes a homing pheromone. So some people say it smells kind of like lemongrass or pine salt.
It smells amazing. Right? I can smell it through my mask.
Yeah. And all that is the bees saying, this is home. They're just marking that this is home. Often in the afternoon, you'll see bees doing that at the front entrance.
Oh, okay.
So when the foragers
calling
the
foragers
they're following their way home.
That is amazing. And will that scent travel a good distance, or is it more once they get to, within
it's really up close.
Okay, yeah.
But I mean, for a bee, bees can smell very small amounts of smell for a very long distance away.
And they forage up to what, 3 miles radius?
Yeah. But I have noticed that this is just a reaction to light being in the hive. So keeping it open, they eventually start fanning. And
yeah, I'm okay.
Okay. I think it's kind of, if I were to put a personal touch to it, I'd say this is their way of saying, we know that there's no roof on the house, but it's still home. It's okay. It's sort of a self-soothing.
I wish you all could be out here because the smell of this it's sweet to your senses.
Yeah.
The smell of the wax and the bees, and for me, it feels so comforting.
Yeah. So we draw this. This isn't the natural way that they would draw it, but the benefit that they get from that by doing their hive the way we've asked them to do on these frames means that I can remove this frame, and I'm going to pull one out to show you one that I might remove. When they fill it with honey, which is a better one. There we go.
How long ago did you put this box on?
This is actually I need to see if I need to add another box. This was part of the original hive.
Oh, it was. Okay, gotcha.
So it's been here a little while.
Oh yeah, that's
capped over there.
Yep.
Look at this side too.
Yes.
So once they fill it with honey, and they'll cap it with this wax. What I can do, once the whole thing is capped, once it all looks like this, I can take this to my honey house, cut this wax capping off, and look what happens when I cut this wax capping.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh my.
There's the honey.
Yep.
And you'll watch as we're sitting here, the bees are going to come start fixing.
And they'll repair that.
They'll repair that. I can then get all the honey, drain it out, spin it so that it comes out of this frame, and then I can return it to them. Now, what's the benefit of that? They don't have to make more comb. Way, way, way back, prior to the 1850s, if you wanted honey, you would have to cut the comb, you take the comb and everything, and then bees would have to make more comb. Comb is one of the most expensive, taxing things a bee can make. So by doing it this way and returning more than 90% of the wax to the bees, it's making it easier on them.
Sure.
So there is some benefit.
You can still buy honey with the comb.
Yes.
You see it in the jars. And when I see that now, and I know how stressful that is on bees, I'm like, bad beekeeper.
You can make some comb honey, but if you're doing it right, you're charging more for it.
Yeah.
And you're not harvesting
a
ton of it from a single hive. You're just doing a little bit here and there.
So and there are health benefits to eating local honey too, for allergies and all that kind of stuff, because the bees are basically foraging from local plants that affect you
it's
from an allergy standpoint.
It's kind of the hygiene hypothesis for allergies where exposure to an allergen sometimes suppresses.
Yeah.
Like I, for example, growing up, always had a pet dog. Then when I moved away to college, I didn't have a pet dog for 5 or 10 years. So when I was reintroduced to dogs, I was allergic.
Oh man.
But as a kid, it was probably suppressed by being exposed to it. So there's one of these already started.
Already
there.
working on that. That's amazing.
Her little tongue's there. So what she'll do is she'll slurp up a stomach full and she'll go put that somewhere else. And the bees, once they eventually find this, that's what they'll do.
And once again, honey is bee throw up.
Yes.
But it's so yummy.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
It is. It's like pre-digested. It's like cows chewing their cud over and over. So that's one of the benefits of. I'm going to put some of these back. That's the benefit of using the comb like this. So
you don't have any frame holders here, do you?
No, I need to. That's on my list. And I keep forgetting to bring them up. But this is completely empty. What I would love is if we could be inside is you could feel what an empty comb versus a full of honeycomb feels like. Because you can get 3 or 5 pounds of honey in just one of these frames.
Yeah, so these boxes can weigh up to 50 pounds.
Yeah. If
they're full with honey, it's amazing.
But again, just look at there. We always think of these bees as all the same, but you see the different colors on them.
They are so active. This is a very strong hive. I'm really impressed.
And they're just going about doing their work. They're not concerned. The reason I like gentle bees, I call them workable. They're going about their job while I go about mine. We don't have any conflict. Okay, we're all like, we've all got a job to do. Let's just knuckle down and get it done. We don't need any fighting.
Now, have you ever had a hive that you turned its personality based on changing out the queen bee?
Yeah, all the time. So if I get a hive that's a little bit, what I would say, touchy, they're less interested in doing work and kind of want to pick a fight. Maybe they're just that's just their natural temperament.
I've had those hives.
Yes, I get rid of the queen and I replace her with one who's got a pedigree of being a little more gentle. And within a couple of weeks to 2 months, it's a whole different hive, because within a couple of weeks to 2 months, now every worker bee in there is the daughter of the new queen. Usually it's the queen.
They pass. That's the bee life, is 20 to 45 days.
The queen lives a bit longer. So we're going to talk about the smoke. I'm already using it here. This is the main thing I use it for.
I can actually hear them getting a little bit more active. The noise, I don't know if you can hear it in the video, but it's definitely that their sound has picked up.
Okay.
They're buzzing.
So I don't know if you want to stand here, you'll get maybe better in the light. But let me tell you, because a lot of people, including beekeepers, will say we use a smoke to calm the bees. And even on camera, I think you can see these are pretty calm bees. I will tell you what, I could even pick her up a little bit, hold her. When you think she's going to be real mad, nope, she just goes about her job. Okay, so very calm, nice, settled bees. But if you notice, I'm working very calm and respectfully with them. I'm not moving fast. I'm moving bees out of my way.
Whenever you're beekeeping, you have to keep your cool.
Yeah.
There's times when I lost my cool and I got stung, and then I lose my cool more. And you just have to realize you got stung.
Yep.
Push through it. You'll be fine.
Okay, I'm going to set this aside. Go for another one. I've been doing it 25 years, and I still do that. I would say 80% of the time I get stung, it's my own fault. Okay, I'm just having a quick look-see. So these are frames that I had extracted earlier in the spring and put in.
Sure.
Okay, so we're fixing these up and filling them.
So what are you looking for?
I just want to see how much they're filling them.
Gotcha.
Do I need to add another box? Okay, these are pretty much largely empty.
Yeah.
So I think we're good for another week. Sure. But if you see this, I don't know if we can get the tongue. Her tongue sticking out there.
Might be able to see that.
Yeah. But anyway, let her get back to work. This next frame has got a lot more bees on it. It's got the brood. I think we discussed last time a little bit about
Oh, yes.
capped brood.
There it is.
Okay, you can see that pattern, that semicircle.
That's the health of a, yeah, that is so amazing to me that they do that semicircle.
Yeah, so
No matter what hive you get in, that's what you see.
Yeah, this is the queen has laid all these eggs, all this brown, and this out here, let's see what that is. Well, that's honey.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
is there a purpose behind doing that in sort of that circular shape? I know in a sense the box below it, it all creates a full circle when it's all done.
Yeah. If we looked at the frame down in the box below, this would be the other part of that circle.
So you know, nobody, they don't have a parent that trains to do this. So how does the bee innately know to, and it's the queen bee deciding where to lay eggs, am I right?
Kind of. The workers are keeping her contained.
Oh, okay.
So because her job, you think of her job as, I need to lay as many eggs as I can during a day. And that requires the workers to feed her enough food to lay eggs. So they control how much food she gets, which controls how many eggs she lays. But she's not going to go here and then 2 boxes up and lay another egg and 3 boxes down and lay another egg. She's going to start laying eggs all next to each other.
Sure.
And the best way to do that kind of is in this circular pattern, okay, and get a bigger and bigger circle. And eventually she'll meet up where the workers are putting this honey. So this is kind of the demarcation. This is where the workers are like, no, you can't have any more space here because we need it to store food. And the queen's like, yeah, but I need to lay more eggs, you know. So there's this, this line is always fluctuating with the season.
That's the battle zone, right? Not really
it's
battle,
sort of,
but it's like
mom and her daughters sort of having a little bit of a little who's in charge kind of thing.
Well, you can see the larvae down in.
Yeah, right there is some trophallaxis. So their antennas are touching each other, their tongues are touching, and they're moving stomach contacts from one bee to the other. So they're literally trophallaxis is, the definition means to move by mouth, but in reality, it's barfing in your sister's mouth if you're a bee.
That sounds disgusting.
Yes. So we have a bunch of bees here, and again, I think we could all agree, I'm not going out on a limb by saying they're calm.
Yes.
So the smoke, a lot of times people will say it calms bees, but I'm going to let the bees answer that question. So let's look at this.
Okay.
I'm going to put smoke here, and let's see if the bees get calmer. They're certainly moving a lot faster.
They're amping up their buzzing sound.
And what are they doing in relation to the smoke?
They're just moving the heck out of the way.
They're moving away from it.
Yeah.
So bees, I mean, I just cleared that whole area.
Yeah.
So this is just, if I want to move bees away from a place, I use smoke. Bees can't breathe smoke. So it's just like people, if you walk into a smoky room, you know, whether it's cigar smoke or the kitchen's on fire, hopefully not, you're going to do this and walk away.
Right, right.
Bees are just like people.
Same thing.
It's like, exactly. Okay, so for example,
what you're saying is the smoker doesn't calm bees, it just
moves them away,
distributes them to another location.
Yeah. So for example, if I wanted to put this box back on, look at all these bees up here.
Yeah.
If I put a box on, they could get smushed.
Yeah.
So what I do as a beekeeper, I'm going to use my tools. Go there and watch how these are going to just. I'm not putting the smoke in the hive.
Yeah.
I'm just going over the top. And the bees are like, okay, go down here where there's no smoke.
Oh yeah.
And now when I put that box on,
fewer casualties.
Yeah. We're not going to smash that many bees. That's my responsibility for taking care of it.
That's right.
Bees are going to get smushed here and there. There's one there that got smushed in the box.
Yeah. Poor thing.
But it's my job to make sure that's as few as possible.
Sure.
Okay. Let's get into another frame here.
How long have you been beekeeping, Dave?
25 years.
25 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Did you go to OSU?
I did. So I graduated from OSU with a degree in plant pathology, plant diseases, and also studying insects.
And you went straight into beekeeping?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you do beekeeping in college?
That's where I first started. So I was interested in plant breeding, But then I got a job at the Honeybee Research Lab at OSU.
Oh, they have one of those?
They do.
Wow.
And at the time, they were running a breeding program out of it. So interested in plant breeding means pollination is important. Who's most important in pollination? So I wanted to learn about bees.
Sure.
And I got into this, the research lab, and got a job, and I started breeding bees. I started helping. I shouldn't say I started breeding. I started learning the process and assisting the breeding program. So I was trained in those jobs, and just loved it.
And you haven't shaved your beard ever since.
And I haven't shaved my beard since. I'm too busy. In the morning, I got to get up and
That's
go
right.
see the bees.
Go see the bees.
No time to shave. Okay, so we're gonna put this back. We're gonna go down one more box and have a look. So I'll let you know what I'm looking at here. Again, I had put some empty frames in here that just had wax on them, but nothing filling them. And I'm just checking to see how much they filled those up.
Sure.
If those had been like 80% full, I would go to the car. I'd get another box.
Another box to put on.
Because they'd be telling me they need more room. And that's a lot of beekeeping, is listening to the bees.
Now, I will tell you that the boxes I had were almost double that size, and I now, with the experience, I prefer these smaller boxes. Do you feel the same?
I do. It's funny because a lot of, that's the standard. Those bigger boxes that you're talking about, they're pretty much the standard. A lot of beekeepers in the last 5 or 10 years have started going to these smaller boxes. They're easier to lift. The bees honestly don't care whether the boxes are 2 inches bigger or 2 inches shorter.
Right.
They don't need these frames. They don't need any of this.
No.
It's all for our own convenience.
Yeah. So it's a selfish act, basically.
Again, if we're gonna do it for our own convenience, let's not make them so heavy.
Yeah. Right.
So we're gonna see if this is the bottom of that circle. Ooh. So remember that frame we took out?
It's sort of the middle of the circle.
It's sort of the middle of the circle.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So they have the bottom is in the bottom box. So it really is crazy, because think about the arch of that circle was,
I'm going to pull that
frame
out.
above it. Yeah, there we go.
If you don't mind holding that, right?
See, now, if you could see me, I'm in a total bee outfit. I'll flip the camera at the end. It's white. It's screened. I'm covered head to toe. I have gloves. I have everything, because I found out that I'm a little bit allergic to bee stings. And
so I'm going to set that there. I've got this one now.
Got it.
So you can see that circle.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And like you say, I bet if we go down one more box, we're going to see the rest of the
bottom
circle.
of it. Yeah, that's amazing.
Okay.
That's perfect.
So the frames are just a way for us to look at individual pieces of their nest.
Sure.
Now here's a section. I want to see if there's eggs in it. Yes. Okay. So this section looks like there's nothing here, but it's because all of these bees have emerged as adults, and the queen has come back and laid eggs in them.
Oh, yeah, and the eggs themselves are like little tiny specks of
grain.
Grain. And
here's one emerging.
Yeah,
right there's her face coming out.
Yep.
And
Which
then
is neat.
If you go up here, this one's already
look at her.
emerged.
Here she comes.
Yep, there she comes. So then the queen.
And how do you know it's not a heat?
This type of cell, this size, the flat top, means that it's a female.
The size of the cell.
Yeah.
Will tell you.
I don't know if we'll find some drone brood in here or not. We're a lot of hives have stopped.
Come on, baby, you can get out. You're almost there. It's like my head's stuck.
Yeah. And you'll see some of her sisters will just walk on her face.
Does she eat that cap away, or how does that work?
She chews it.
You choose the
She
cap
doesn't
away.
eat it. It'll just fall to the bottom.
Okay.
Some bees might get it up and reuse it,
And then do the worker bees then go in and clean out that?
Yes. Yep. They'll clean everything out there. What a lot of beekeepers call it, they'll go in and polish that cell. Because a queen, when she's laying eggs, she inspects the cells.
Oh, okay. Really?
So, she wants to make sure there's not honey in it or pollen. And then she wants to make sure it's clean.
Wow.
So that she can lay an egg.
She's
she puts a little bit of glue on the one end of the egg.
Oh, well, of course.
And if you've ever tried to tape or glue something onto a dirty surface.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. No. We'll give her a couple more seconds here. You see a lot of the bees just walk right over her face.
Can you point to her again?
Yes.
Just to make sure they can see her. Yep.
And you can tell she's a new bee emerging because her head's out, whereas this one is an old bee cleaning.
Oh, he's down cleaning.
Because her butt's out.
He's the janitor.
Yeah.
She.
You got both ends. Looks like one long bee that went in this hole and
Right?
it's coming
Oh,
out
yeah,
that
it's coming
one.
out the other.
My finger seems to get her a little bit shy.
Yeah, you can lead the way.
Okay. So what I'm seeing here is a good pattern.
Okay.
Right? I like that pattern. I like that it's probably extending into the bottom box.
Yep.
At this point, because I know she's laying eggs, I don't feel I need to go in the bottom box just to see the other part of that.
Sure.
Okay.
So we have not seen the queen yet, have we?
No. And as long as we've had this open, we probably won't.
Yeah.
She's probably going around. We can try. All the signs I'm seeing here are telling me that we've got a good, healthy, productive hive going on. They're already starting to fill the empty combs that I gave them. And look how I can just slide that right back in.
And what, so at what point do you want to create a box that's specific for honey?
So that's kind of, this box is sort of that.
Oh, that top box.
Yeah, I don't use queen excluders, which is a whole other thing.
So
For
you
honey
don't,
production,
really?
Sometimes I do. It just depends.
And a queen extruder is basically a fencing that you put between two boxes, and the abdomen size of a queen cannot squeeze through it, so she can't go up and lay eggs, so they create only honey in that box.
Yeah. And
But
so
Dave doesn't do that.
Mostly because, for the most part, the bees will naturally do that. Right?
At
they
the
have
top.
that natural way of putting a hive together.
It always seems like it's, you know, sort of bottom brood, top honey. Is that correct?
Yeah. That's not. Again, I'm not saying I never use them.
Right,
I have
right.
queen excluders. I just, for the most part, they do a really good job. And if there's one frame with a few eggs on it,
Just stay away from it.
So we're going to go ahead and close her up because we've had her open a long time.
Sure.
You see how much more active she's got.
Yeah.
Because we've had her open and that's not. So what we're going to do, we don't want to crush any of these bees.
Smoke it. Smoke it.
Especially get them off the sides here. Again, I'm not trying to, we're not trying to cure ham here with smoke. We're just trying to get them to move a little. We don't think too much. Okay. I'm going to then pick up this box.
Have little handle divots on the end. All right. That's pretty good. He wiggles it a little bit so that it's sort of a warning to the bees. Hey, move out of the way.
Yeah, give them a chance to
do your thing.
Like here, she got stuck on the outside.
Yeah.
So that's fine. She'll be fine.
She'll be fine. Okay.
She'll
Her
figure out a
leg
way
was a
in.
little stuck, but
Now we've got
we
to put
saved her.
this box on.
Yep.
So I'm going to even do here, like if I go on the outside here,
Uh-huh.
the smoke goes over the top. And again, it's kind of rude to blow smoke at bees,
Sure.
but I'm doing it for a purpose which benefits.
And what are you burning inside of that?
Cedar chips.
Cedar chips. There we go.
So just,
it does smell kind of good.
yeah. And that's just, they're
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Yep.
We need to move them in.
Tongue
You
to
guys
tongue. Come on,
take it
ladies.
inside.
Take it inside.
I guess what it usually it's like take it outside. Okay. All right.
There we go.
Oops, one's coming out. There we go. She didn't get in time. So there we
That's
go.
all right. She'll make her way back.
Now here's something that's interesting. Over here, see this webbing?
Yeah. Is that not good?
No, that's fine.
Oh.
So that's the nest of a bold jumping spider.
Bold jumping spider.
They live in these areas here because you think about this. This is covered over like that.
Mm-hmm.
This is perfectly dry, protected from the rain. A honeybee hive generates its own heat. So even in the winter, this area stays warm.
Nice.
And
Smart spider.
yeah, this spider may actually even go in and sneak some honey.
Really?
It may even capture a couple of honeybees to eat.
No way.
You're never going to have bold jumping spiders that are so much of a problem that they're eating so many bees that you would know.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
But the other good thing is they may eat a few bees, but they also eat things like cockroaches and ants,
Ah,
which are a nuisance.
yeah, I did see a black ant
Yeah.
crawling up the side of this.
So you know, a lot of times people get rid of their spiders. Ooh, yeah, I don't mind them at all. I think all in all, they live in peace with the bees, even though every now, you know, just like we live in peace with chicken, we steal some of their eggs.
Right.
You know?
And we do have chickens at Kemper House as well.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll be the next class.
Look
Chicken
out-
keeping.
If you look out front, because we've had this hive open, you'll see a lot more fanning out front. Yeah. See how they're all fanning that homing pheromone.
And it's the buzzing sound is definitely louder because we've been in the hive itself.
And if you look at the hive over here, there's not nearly the activity.
Right.
So this is a result of us being in the hive. Couple minutes, they'll be back to normal.
Back to normal.
They'll settle down and be back to normal.
Have you been stung yet today?
I got one little.
Oh, you did?
Nothing
Dave,
major at all.
Dave has been stung so many times that his body just probably
I don't
needs.
like it. I still don't like it.
Nobody likes it. It hurts,
But
but it's not bad. But
it's
for
part of the
me,
job description.
I suit up and I make sure that I can't get stung.
I actually, I'll tell you when I got stung.
Well, I could
was
get
pulling
stung
up-
on this hand because I don't have protection.
I was pulling up a frame. I didn't clear all the bees off, but there was a bee right there, and I smushed it. I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Again, it was my fault. not
Your
that the
fault.
bees-
We'll blame you for that one,
Yeah.
not the bees.
The bee definitely blamed me for that one. It was very surprising.
Is it true that bees die after they sting you?
It is true. So,
So why would a bee ever want to sting you unless it has to, right?
exactly. And they don't necessarily know that they're going to die when they sting you
Sure.
because it's only when they sting animals with stretchy elastic skin.
Oh,
Their stinger has barbs on it, gets stuck in it.
okay. So
But the number one task inside a hive is other insects.
Oh,
So they can sting wasps and other honeybees, cockroaches. They can sting those over and over again, and their stinger doesn't come.
Ah, that's the first I've heard that. So thank
Yeah.
you. That's definitely a new lesson for me.
That's because the insects have that hard
Hard shell,
exoskeleton.
right.
So when you puncture it, it makes a permanent hole.
Oh, wow.
Whereas when you puncture our skin closes
Grabs around it and the barb hooks
So
and
my guess is, you know, the idea is that bees don't want to sting you because they might die. My guess is they're suddenly very surprised that that's the situation because they're probably used to stinging
Sure.
stuff.
yeah.
Like
You're like,
cockroaches
what
or
just
wasps.
happened?
They're like, whoa.
Now this hive is definitely not super active. And even does it.
Oh, they're inspecting her.
Oh, they are.
I don't know if they like her.
No, it looks like they're all over her, aren't they?
So she must not have showed up with food.
They are really checking her out.
Yeah.
They're putting her through the paces.
Yeah. And she may persist and be able to get in or not. Some of that could be grooming behavior. I hate to say I know exactly what it is because it looks like she was going in. It didn't look like they were trying to sting her.
It
They
didn't.
weren't recruiting any other guards. So it could just be they were grooming her.
Cleaning her up. She needed
Yeah.
it before that she saw the queen.
That's right. What are we doing on time?
Doing pretty good. We're at 10:40. We have 5 minutes.
Okay, perfect. That's absolutely perfect. I just wanted to make sure. I thought we were getting close.
Yep.
And I didn't want to get open and go,
We started a
amazing
little
thing
early
here
too
is-
because I got excited instead of waiting exactly till
that's
10
fine.
o'clock. So
I'm glad to have. So what I'm going to do here then, I'm also just going to check this hive again because it's the shortest hive, one of the shortest two hives. These hives have 4 boxes.
sure.
This one has 3. So the
4,
last
3.
the last time I added boxes, I determined she didn't need one.
Yes.
So she's going to be my first candidate to see if she needs one.
Man, come on, baby.
Yeah, let's see.
So this was a hive that you. How did you get this hive? Was this one of them that was a swarm?
This is one that was
Yeah.
a swarm. Yeah.
So Dave will receive a call and say, hey, there is a swarm of bees in my front tree, or there's a swarm of bees wherever, which is usually a beehive that has reproduced, left its old hive itself and is sort of trying to find new area to live. And so he'll be called in, and he'll go and he'll catch the swarm and then create a new hive out of it.
So this is a box. Again, this one was smaller. I just added this box 2 or 3 weeks ago.
And they're
filling it up. There's
it.
larvae
It
in
really
there.
is.
There's eggs out here. And so these bees are feeding the larvae. So I'm just, you never make a judgment based on one frame, but I'm not seeing a big need to add another box just yet. But boy, she's doing a good job.
See the larvae in there. And then at what point do they cap it?
Day 10, 9 or 10, I believe.
And they're really consistent on all of that.
And they're working on capping that one and that one there.
Yeah, you can see some that aren't capped yet that are in the process of being capped. And what do they cap that with?
It's beeswax plus a little bit of propolis. So propolis is this stuff out here.
Yeah, and that is sticky. That's what gets all over my gloves.
It's plant resin that they use as a glue.
Yep.
And it is sticky.
It's almost like a caulking too, for if they have gaps to keep weather out. And it's really a very interesting material. We could probably use it in construction and benefit from it.
So I think the last thing I'm going to show today is, if you look at the top of these frames, you notice that there's these little, right? Let me show this. See how there are these little nubs that stick out?
Sure.
Okay, what is that for? So again, when we made these boxes, we didn't just say this is what's convenient, interesting, and neat for us. We paid attention to what the bees need. And if you see where those two come together, that makes that space, which is 3/8 of an inch. So a gentleman way back in the 1800s studied bees and how they built their combs and nests. And he found out that if there's a space that's larger than 3/8 of an inch, they put honeycomb in it. If there's a space that's less than 3/8 of an inch, they put propolis and glue it. So this is called bee space. And bee space is, I'm trying to see if they're doing it here.
They should have named it after the guy.
Well, they named the hive after him, Langstroth.
Oh, Langstroth.
So this is a Langstroth hive.
Okay, there we go.
Bee space is, we'll put this in, it's enough room for a bee to be on this comb and a bee to be on that comb, and they never have to bump into each other or get out of each other's way. So this, we call it 3/8 of an inch. Bees call it just enough room for two bees. They don't know 3/8 of an inch from
They
any
call
other
it
measurement.
social distancing, proper social distancing.
Right. Yeah. So when we do this, even though we're doing a lot of these things when we build these hives for our convenience, we can only do it if we're putting the bees first. Because if we built this at any other size, it wouldn't work as efficiently.
Well, I'll tell you, Dave, we are at 10:44, which class ends at 10:45.
That's a good time
So
to wrap it up.
Yeah, is there anything you want to share with us before we head out?
Well, the next two classes, so in August and September, we're going to be working our way towards harvesting some honey.
Okay.
And so one of my hopes, and we still have to talk about some of it, but one of my hopes is on the day, possibly in September, once I've actually harvested some of this honey, I'll bring it back to the class so that at the end of class, maybe that's something that could be taken inside and served.
Absolutely.
And
I love it.
We'll just have to look at, some of it depends on the bees. You know, they should have stuff ready to harvest by then, but you never know if it's going to be just a little before or after.
Sure. Well, since we have an audience beyond just Kemper House, how, if somebody's interested in starting beekeeping, how can they contact you?
I think the easiest, straightforward way is just send me an email at redbeardbees@gmail.com.
redbeardbees@gmail.com.
Right.
Got it.
No underscores, just one.
Yep. One word.
And I actually work with Columbus Garden School here in Columbus.
Oh, nice.
And we're doing our class list.
Yeah, why don't you send me a link to all that, and I can push that out on our Kemper
that sounds
Facebook
great.
page as well. And I can honestly tell you that I look so forward to this beekeeping. It's enriched my life, and it's one of the most interesting and fascinating things I've ever done personally. So thank you so much, and we appreciate you being here with us.
Absolutely. Thank you guys, and I look forward to seeing you next month.
Well, that was it with Dave Noble, Redbeard Bees. As you can see, the man knows his stuff. He's a good buddy of mine. I appreciate his humor. His classes, if you want to take some, you can obviously go to redbeardbees at gmail.com, and he can get you all the information you need. If you know of anybody that's in need of some memory care services, you can always contact Kemper House, Worthington. It's a joy to do what we're doing. I love that we're enriching the lives of our residents through unique things like beekeeping. So that's it for now. Thank you, and God bless.
Addie, are you online? Addie, can you hear me?
What do you guys think of Greg in his beekeeping suit? Did you recognize that was him?
Oh, no. So
She,
hey, that's my wife.
was texting, making sure you better have had your EpiPen.
I do. I have it someplace. No, right here. Seriously, I have it. Look.
Okay.
See? See? That's my
wife, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Everybody wave to Lisa. Everybody say hi.
How was the class?
It was awesome. You should have done it Facebook Live.
I'll do that next time. But I did push it out to Facebook, and I put the Zoom connection on for everybody. I don't know who all was on it, but I did report it, so that's a good thing. Is
Yeah.
Addie still?
She's on, but she probably walked away because she's still on the thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So why don't you push out one for our family, a Zoom invite. We do a family Zoom call with my daughter in Israel every Saturday.
That's
And
awesome.
we're on for a couple hours.
Israel, how
She's
about
getting
that,
her
huh?
master's degree in marine geosciences.
Woo!
So marine geosciences. Wow. And so she lives in Haifa, Israel.
That's learning about underwater animals.
All right, I love you guys. We'll see ya.
Underwater coral.
Love you. Oh, there's Addie. Wait. There's Addie.
Wait, Addie, let me see your face.
My face is on.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
on.
there-
Oh, look at
There's
that.
Addie.
Everybody wave at Greg's dog.
She looks like Addie does. Hi, baby girl. I love you.
Hi, I love you too.
How was
Okay.
the class?
Send an invite.
Great. I didn't know that bees can sting, but without
Bees- Oh,
like
yeah,
I
right.
thought that they always died.
Yep, obviously not. Only with humans.
That actually makes sense though.
It does.
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
All right, baby girl. I love you so much.
The only reason
I love you.
is because we have like elastic porous skin